Hey, we've arrived at week 34, and lately I find myself having to go to the restroom more frequently. And it's not like I have to pee a lot, it's just that I have to go often. She's obviously getting bigger and getting heavier, so she's now sitting on my bladder. So I'll go to the restroom once and then I'll have to go back like another 10 minutes or so. And it's not like I have to pee a lot, it's just trinkles. So it's getting annoying, but it's just something I have to endure. And then aside from that, she's getting bigger, so she's running out of room and space in there. So it feels like she's deliberately like nudging against my belly wall. Sometimes it's hard to discern whether it's her or if it's a Braxton Hicks contractions, but for the most part I can tell it's her because I'll look down at my belly and it's moving around. And it's pretty cool because I can actually feel her shifting positions, like from one side to another. So always a good sign that she's active, but it's just getting more and more uncomfortable and sometimes painful because sometimes she's like pushing up against one of my bones or something. On the BART, I continue to get seats offered to me, which is really nice of people. Something I'll probably miss after the pregnancy, now that I'm spoiled with that. But speaking of random acts of kindness, random people will come up to me and ask, how far along are you? Or is this your first one? Or simply just congratulate us. And then, sometimes we'll be walking down the street or something and Jeremy will catch someone looking right at me and smiling because they just caught a glimpse of me as a pregnant woman. And it's kind of cool how people are just happy for us even though we don't know them. And I guess just the fact that we're bringing new life into this world just brings people joy. As I mentioned last week, we had our first session of the Preparing for Childbirth class. It was really intense, lots of information to take in, but we learned a lot. One of the major things was the 3 stages of labor, and then of course we did a couple exercises to relieve the lower back pains, and then also learned how I should position myself, how I mentioned before, lifting my legs, reclining, and so that I could avoid the varicose veins. Well, the instructor said don't do that this late in the pregnancy because the tailbone is now because she's so heavy now, the tailbone is kind of in a weird position and could cause more aches than relief. So I should be on my side versus my back. And then use pillows wherever to make myself comfortable. And then the inevitable, we watched a couple films on live childbirth. I was pretty proud for Jer surviving through them because he's the squeamish one, but he made it through. And we were both surprised at how quickly the baby comes out in the final stage of labor. Of course, the final stage is the most intense and most painful, but it's also the shortest, which is, I guess, the silver lining in the whole ordeal. It could just run from 20 minutes to an hour, so knowing that makes me feel a little better, I guess. Then we're gonna have our next class this coming Saturday. Unfortunately, Jared won't be able to make it because he has some work obligations that he can't get out of. So if you're in the area and would like to be my support partner for the day, just let me know. So otherwise, I'm going to be flying solo, which won't be too bad, but yeah, it would have been nice to have him there. After the class, we headed over to 900 Grayson, which is a restaurant with limited hours, and so it was nice to finally go there when it was open and check it out. It was really good. 900 Grayson is actually the address as well, so it's easy to find. And then later in the evening, we headed out to Vallejo to meet up with my cousin and his family. They were over at a friend's house to watch the Pacquiao fight. And it was good to just hang out with my fellow Pinoys and support the Pinoy pride and see Pac-Man win the fight. at least one of my, you know, teams or athletes won, because the rest of my other teams lost over the weekend. So I had at least one win under my belt for in terms of sports. And then of course on Sunday it was Mother's Day. So we went to church, and then they had all the mothers in attendance come up to the front and pray for them and hand them out roses. I was actually included as one of them, even they included me as the expectant mother. So it was something I'll have to get used to, being a new mom. And what was even nice of our church friends was that they decided to surprise us with a baby shower. They had a luncheon after service and hosted a baby shower for Jeremy and me. They had a cake, and they even had diaper cakes as well. And they had baby shower games, and then a couple of our familiar faces outside of church came by, and that was our friend Jan came by to join us, and then my cousin and his family showed up as well. So it was a great time of fellowship, and it was really we feel truly blessed to have church friends who were kind enough to throw us and show us their support and love with the baby shower. So thank you to our friends at Light by the Bay Church for hosting a wonderful shower. We were truly blessed. Taking advantage of the beautiful day, Jared and I decided to make an impromptu trip to Napa. Of course, I can't drink wine, so we didn't do that. We just decided to go shopping at the outlets for a little bit, and then headed over to Bouchon Bakery to satisfy our sweet tooth, because Jared really wanted the macarons. So we stopped by over there, and then headed over to our favorite winery, Visa Tui, for a late lunch, early dinner, and had a picnic in their outdoor area before heading back home. Quite an eventful week, and it doesn't stop there. Tomorrow we're going to have our birth center tours, which is basically checking out the facilities of where we're going to deliver the baby. So we'll learn where to park, where to register, and all that good stuff. And just be prepared rather than like showing up on D-Day and not knowing what to do. So it'll be interesting and very informative, something I'll look forward to. So I guess that's it, and I will talk to you guys next week. Have a good one.